Yeah, hi guys. Just wanted to do a quick video. I think it'll be a quick video, just to catch you up on the last week. We had our Collecticon on, this past Saturday, Sunday. Let's see, this is Tuesday. I'm a little bit tired. Tuesday of the next week. We flew, Thuan, Akara, and I flew out to Dallas Love Field on Friday, and then Friday evening, let's see, we went out to dinner and then got to bed, tried to get to bed a little bit early because we had to get up early on Saturday morning. And so we got up, and the next morning I slept horrible. Usually, in a new bed, it's a little bit tough for me. Plus, I need a bunch of pillows, didn't quite have enough pillows. And the convention, Collecticon, started at 10 o'clock. I got down for breakfast. They have a nice breakfast buffet there at the Embassy Suites. I got down there about 7:30. Met up with some people. Had some people come up and say hello. Who are Instagram followers and YouTube followers. Some who might have seen me in an appearance before. And so had ate at 7:30. Went over to the show about 9 while the vendors were still setting up, so I got a chance to see some of the dozens of vendors, who I've gotten to know, and to say hello and check out they want and wishing them luck and things like that. Then at 11 o'clock, we got a very, very nice opening, by my boy Jason Page, who sang the original Pokemon theme song. He came out and he sang the theme song, and then the DJ, introduced us, including Super Duper Danny, Real Breaking Nate, and myself, up to the stage. And there was a nice group of people waiting for us, to get, pictures taken and having, getting some autographs done and different things like that. Great mix of people, boys, girls, kids, a little bit older people, not as old as me, but a little bit older people, and just went through the day. It was just tremendous, and it was pretty much non-stop. Got about an hour and a half break in between, where we had some great Tex-Mex, Texas Mexican food that was just delicious. Love that stuff. And then went back on stage and signed a whole bunch of autographs. I'm sure you'll see them all over the place. Signed hundreds. I had that great promo card that we were, selling. It turned out the Collecticon was selling it for $25. The people, it was a holofoil King Gary card. Beautiful. The people loved it, and I'm so glad they did, because a portion, in fact, all of my portion, went to our charity. And then sold hundreds of them, and people, it was a limited edition, 1 to 500, each one individually numbered. So that was, that turned out to be extremely popular, which I was a little bit surprised. But anyway, they brought the cards up. I autographed on the card. Several people got, more than one, to get friends, with my autograph on them. And it was great spending that time with Nate and Danny, because of course they were signing autographs too, and they're so sweet, so nice. We also tried to spend some time talking to the people. I had to move it along a little bit so the people in line didn't have to wait more than an hour or two, which is still too long. I felt bad for them. And then just off the stage, there were a couple tables set up, mostly ones that were arranged by me, people who I wanted around and who had difficulty getting spots. One was for Zach, Gem Mint Pokemon, and Nick, Old School Pokemon, SKOOL, Old School Pokemon. Both of them have great channels here on YouTube. They shared a booth that was right there off the stage. I could keep an eye on them. And the Pokey Jew, Michael, he had a table next to them, and then Jason Page, the singer, was next to them. Then on the other side, my good friends Alex and the boys, that do virtual grading. We're trying to get something going. They had a banner with a big old head of me on it, because I'm kind of like one of the original founders, but I'm certainly a supporter, who love what they're doing. They're what they're doing is the way of the future as far as card grading is going, and I'm not too old to appreciate this new technology. There was a day I wasn't, it was a little harder for me to adjust, but now I get it. And then that was on the left side of the stage. Then in front of them was my good friend and future neighbor, Michael Waddell, and his group of people from MetaZoo. They weren't there to sell anything. They were there just giving away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of product. They were just giving away to everybody and talking to them. They had a couple of their great artists there, the MetaZoo artists, who were autographing, who were signing. Michael Waddell, the owner of MetaZoo, he's a big celebrity now. Everybody wanted his autograph, and they had a line all day Saturday and pretty much all day Sunday that I could see, because I could see them from up on stage. I would have to call the MetaZoo vendors probably the vendors of the show. It was just crazy how well they did, how accommodating to the customers they were, and how upbeat and positive they are with just a terrific new game, MetaZoo, the Cryptid Nation, the first set which is coming out July 31st. And I think Michael and I are going to be doing some promotional stuff, for their kickoff, of the first edition set. And anyway, that was quite a thrill. That was a lot of fun. I love those people. So that was on Saturday. It pretty much wound up around 5 o'clock, and there was about an hour. I tried to, between 5 and 6, I tried to take some time going down the aisles, because that's like a candy store to the king. I love that stuff. All the collectibles and all the vendors had beautiful spaces, wonderful collections, and I like to see that, and I love to buy things, but I would get a little ways, and then people would want to take pictures and get me to sign things, and to tell you the truth, that comes first. So I accommodated them, and I wasn't able to get through to look at too many vendor booths. So when it was over at 6, all the guys went out, drinking and eating and having fun. The Bonnie Bowdangers and Pokey Jew and Nick and Zach and just all these wonderful people, wonderful young people, which I'm not. I'm wonderful, but I'm not young. So they were they went out to have a great time, and I hear a lot of them didn't get in until like 5 in the morning, if you can imagine that. I went upstairs and went to sleep, because I'm old and I'm tired, and I was tired. And the night before I didn't sleep very much. I had to get up at 4:40 on Thursday night to catch a flight, Friday morning. Also, somebody pointed out I say I know a lot. I know. Well, sorry about that. I'm not a speaker. I'll do the best I can to limit that. And getting back on point, I went to bed that Saturday night, and I was just dead tired. I went to sleep, and I slept all the way through until 6:50, where I got up, got showered and shaved and all ready to go, and went downstairs again for breakfast, for the buffet breakfast there at 7:30, where I meet fans, and some fans sit with me, some I see every single time I make an appearance. They're great. and like Ethan, my boy Ethan, and some of those young people, school age people like to talk Pokemon and like to ask me questions and hear about my stories. So that was great. I love those breakfasts at 7:30 because then like John Pokemon Radar and uh, Jeremy Swolepoke, pops in and we sit and talk and eat and just share stories and memories and things. So I did that, and then I found out the night before, about 10 o'clock at night, that Saturday night, my son, Pokemon Prince, at Pokemon Prince on Instagram, he flew up, for the day, just for one night and one day, or just for one full day and those 2 nights. And he met up with all the guys the night before with Danny and Nate and Nick and Zach, and I mean the whole group, and they went out, having fun, having a nice dinner and everything else. So that next morning, I saw Devin. Devin, my son, Pokemon Prince, came down for breakfast about 8 or 8:30, I think. So it was good to see him, and everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. So I was glad to see that. He communicates with all the influencers, and they share information and stuff like that. And then Devin, my son, and I left breakfast. Remember, the convention opens at 10. We left breakfast about 9, and we went inside. Went to the convention center inside, where I could finally get up and down the aisles to see the vendors. And I went ahead and asked them how they did the day before, because I'm interested. I want the convention to do well. And out of the 25 or 30 people I asked, only 2 said, it was so-so. They did so-so on Saturday. The other 25 or more said they did terrific, 9 out of 10. That's why I asked them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you guys do yesterday, Saturday? 9 out of 10. So, here, I'll keep you off camera. Remember, I told you always got to hug. You always got to hug your people. That was Autism Instruct. That was her. She had a great time there, too. She has a lot of fans, and they were all glad to see her. Yeah, she's going to bed now. I guess it's, I don't know what time it is, but it's very dark out. So, anyway, Devin and I went inside the convention hall. I went up and down the aisles, talked to all the vendors. Nice to see many. I saw a lot of new ones. I shook just about everybody's hand just to say, say hello and thank them for being there. And they seemed to be pleased to see me. And then at 11 o'clock, we had good old Jason Page. He jumped up there, sang the Pokemon theme song. He went running through the crowd, giving high fives, singing just like it was 21 years ago. His voice stayed so young. In that iconic song that brings chills to almost all of us when we hear it. He did a great job on that. Now, I'm going to be seeing a lot more of him. He told me that he wanted to, participate in some of our charity work. And so we're going to be in close touch, trying to set things up for that. And now at 11 o'clock, that was when he sang. Then they brought us up again on stage, Autism Instruct, my wife Thuan, myself, Super Duper Danny, and Real Breakin' Nate brought us up again. We had a nice line of people. They started coming. And then about an hour and a half later, we did a box break for Heritage Auctions and DFW. And Heritage Auctions with Joe Madalena, my good friend, and with Rush and the boys with DFW. And they had me open up a base unlimited box and pull, open and pull all the cards that they had sold. And something interesting about that was a lot of fun. That was live streamed. Maybe a lot of you saw it, but that was live streamed. Well, there were 36 packs, of course, in that base set box. We pulled 2 Blastoise, no Charizard, no Venusaur, and then 9 other holofoils, unlimited holofoils. Oddly, but it happened many times before, there were only 11 holos in the box. Sometimes there's 11, sometimes there's 13, but 90% of the time there's 12. This is one of those times there was 1 short, so there was 11. But something else, about 4 of those packs had severely miscut uncommon cards, where they were so miscut, it was off the edge where you could see the beginnings of the other card that was on the sheet. That's how badly miscut they were. And like most of you know, that's an extremely valuable anomaly. So there were about 12. If you paid and you got one of those, then those severe miscuts are worth a lot more than even the holos are. So they kind of got lucky. And that's kind of a funny thing, you know, in sports cards, which we did for years, a miscut card, you would get angry, tear it up, throw it in the garbage. You know, it was a horrible thing to happen, you know, with the, no, there I go, sorry. It's a horrible thing to happen with sports cards, but Pokemon cards is a huge market for it, and people love those miscut cards. And I kind of like them too. So I have a lot of miscut cards myself, and I do collect them, and I've traded them and things like that. Well, when that was over, everybody who bought a pack had the opportunity to have lunch with me and Thuan and some of the other guys in a private conference room where we all talked, and it was part of the thing. If you bought a pack, you got a ticket to lunch with us, and that was a lot of fun. Plus, we had one of the Power Rangers there who was a big fan of mine, and I was a big fan of his, because 20 years ago, when my boys were younger, we used to sit on the bed every single time the new Power Ranger show came on. We would all climb on the bed and watch the Power Rangers. We would buy the Power Ranger toys and all that. So it was great to see him. He was the Black Ranger on the early shows. Tremendous kid. Or not kid, he's 50 now, but I mean, yeah, kid to me. Yeah, fantastic young man, and we talked for a long time, and we made some plans together, and after that went back out on stage and signed a bunch of autographs and had some other special requests that we fulfilled while on stage, but we accommodated everybody. We didn't turn anybody away. Nate and Danny are real troopers. They stayed right up there with me, and we took care of everybody. And so then it ended about 6, and Gary was really, really tired. So I went up to bed again, and all the young people went, rambling for the night, went rambling around, including my son Devin. Once again, they all got together and they all had fun and enjoyed each other. Then the next morning, Monday morning, I went down a little bit early because I had to get something really special. I'll show you at some point. Had to get the tubes cut down, so engineering there helped me do that. They took care of that for me. But I went down and sat, and a lot of the people who were checking out came up to me, asked to sign things and take pictures, and I just love that. That's pretty flattering when you figure, somebody wants to take the time to come up to you and, thank you for being an inspiration and a motivation in their life, and, just giving that, passing out that kind of love to me. I mean, I certainly don't feel worthy of that, but just knowing that I have had a positive influence on a lot of them, just is pretty heartwarming and pretty humbling. So I stayed there. Then pretty soon the guys started coming down, and then I had a meeting with the Collecticon people, Cody, Jeff, and Matthew, where we discussed a little bit of the business stuff and about future plans. I told them that hey, King Pokemon is ready. King Pokemon's ready to go again, because we're probably going to have 4 of these conventions next year, maybe 5, I don't know. And they're going to be all over the country: New York, Chicago, I heard, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, back in Dallas, Frisco at the same place. It's so successful, just packed. We had double the people that we had in March. I think close to 8,000 people bought tickets to come in. And as I understand it, all 8,000 of those people came to see me. Can you imagine that? Pretty valuable, huh? Not really. I don't know how many came to see me. But certainly, having a chance to get out to a great collectible show with wonderful vendors, maybe 300-400 vendors, beautiful setups they had, excellent people. Not like these old sports shows you go into. We had music going. At the last hour, we played all Steve Aoki dance music, you call it. Where he's the DJ. The dance music stuff. His new song he does with some kid, where they redo Avril Lavigne's "Complicated." They played that, and they played Steve's classic hit "Boneless." And man, I love all those songs so much. I love Steve, like most of you already know, but I love those songs in that style. And anyway, I miss now, after having that meeting, and we have those 4 or 5 events next year. I hope to make them all, God willing, health willing. And I know Super Duper Danny had a tremendous time. I mean, Nate, my boy Nate, him and I had a great time. We ended up going to the video game museum, and Nate and I were playing old school video games, and the stand-ups, and this amazing museum where they started off with the original, like with Pong and those original Nintendo games and that, and they went through the years and the decades. You go around all the way up to current day. It was really nice. That was a nice touch that Matthew, Cody, and Jeff set up for us, along with Devin and Thuan and my daughter Akara. And after that, we went to the Outback Steakhouse. I had a I think it was a ribeye steak and coconut shrimp. Hello, that was great. But we had to rush through the meal because we had to get to the airport, because our flight we had to get there about an hour early. So we had to rush through the meal, but we got through the meal, and then we got a big SUV Uber or Lyft from the Embassy Suites to the airport, and got there just in time. But then it turned out the plane was 1 hour delayed, so we were there a little longer than we thought we were going to be, and we were a little earlier than we thought it was. So we got on the plane, we got home back here to Las Vegas, got everything done, got back here to the house, unpacked a little bit, and then just crashed. I was pretty tired. So I think for the next one, I'm going to have to get in a little bit better shape, so I can do some of those late nights with the guys, right? With the guys and girls. And because I did do that in March, and I missed that this time. So anyway, that's the way the Collecticon number 2 in Frisco, Texas, June 26th and 27th. That's the way it went, 2021. And I got to tell you the truth. The first one, I was really just trying to support the people putting it on. This time I was looking forward to the convention because I had so much fun in March. I just had a great time this time. Just got a little bit tired, but I'll find some way to overcome it so I can party a little bit at night. And Autism Instruct, my wife Thuan, and Akara had a babysitter on Saturday and Sunday for 8 hours each day. So Thuan was able to go down and meet her friends and meet all the fans and that, and spend some time on stage signing autographs and helping me. And so she had a terrific time also. Well, I guess I'll wrap that up. That just talks. I mean, I have 100 stories and 100 things to tell you guys about. I just got to get around to it. I made some purchases that'll blow your mind, things you've never seen before, and I have to show those off soon. So I will be back. But in the meantime, thank you so much for sitting through this little explanation of what was going on at Collecticon. Hopefully one of the upcoming ones I'll be in your part of the country, or at Worlds in England, and I'll be able to meet a lot of you in person. So thanks a lot for sitting through this. I love you all. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very good night or day. Bye bye.